going bad for him at first, but he just had too much anyway. And behind this, he's going to be the one with the production, thanks to his bank.
Getting Infestors is absolutely huge. The Ultra's not nearly as scary without them. And again, the upgrade's not quite done for those Ultras to be as scary as possible. 6 more Ultras on the way for Snoot. Will they come out in time, though? He's lost 21 workers. He's been knocked down to an abysmal 44 drones in this late game. He's losing hatcheries left, right, and center as well. This top one getting targeted down by the Marauders.
Yeah, Snoot's income is in shambles here, and with that base dying, it's going to go even lower here. 44 drones to 66 SCVs. Kelazor's economy not even being close to threatened here at any time in this game. He still needs to work on his gas income, by the way.
Snoot hasn't even been on the other side of the map yet. Kelazor's made sure that all the fighting's been happening on Snoot's side, so you're absolutely right. Kelazor very safe back at home. The Liberator's being taken out by the Ravagers, which is nice. Kelazor way outside of the creep, though, and Snoot needs to pick a fight here. He feels like he needs to.
Yeah. One
of the Ultras getting very, very low. 2 of the Ultras about to die, and the Infestors don't have enough energy for, I think there's maybe 1 fungal here.
Yeah, he could even go and sit back behind one of his planetaries if he wanted to, like Snoot. For him to be in the middle of the map like this, it means that he's exposed to counter drops and counter attacks as well. He's got 1 single fungal to work with, so it better be a good one. One of the Steph Curry 3 points.
I mean, Snoot engaging in the middle of the map here, away from that creep, just leads me to believe that he is very desperate. He wants to get a big fight against the Terran, catch him unawares, but Kelazor is all over this like a rash. He has everything he needs. His production is fantastic, and he's getting Liberator range as well, which is going to make things even more difficult for Snoot to engage.
Advanced ballistics are very helpful. I mean, there is still 14 Ravagers, but for him to be able to land those perfect bile on top of these guys, still would be very difficult.
Needs Infestors, and Snoot's trying to make what he can. He's got 3 on the way. He's making as many drones as he can as well. But again, I don't even know if he should be making drones at this point. He's never going to catch up this worker count of Kelazor at this stage in the game. Kelazor never stops.
Yeah, I mean, look at the income at this point. Kelazor is just mining so much more. It feels like the esports earnings have been reversed here in this game.
Kelazor still has a way to go if he wants to match Snoot's esports earnings, but in this game, doing a very, very good job. Liberators leapfrogging here, and they're moving forward. This is a very, very tough engagement for the Zerg. He needs to go through 3 Liberators if he wants to meet the chewy center of this Terran ball here. He's going in with a bio on the left, sniping an Infestor, getting those Ravagers. Hugely important pickups here for Kelazor. 3 of the Infestors still alive, though, with a few fungals left, but not too much army supply left for Snoot. That's a lovely fungal, actually. The bile's coming down, but still, Kelazor just with so many units. And again, this Liberator leapfrog. How do you engage this as a Zerg?
You can't. He has to pull back every single time. And even though these Medivacs are injured, there's enough bio on the ground, I think, for Kelazor to secure this game here momentarily. Still threatening at the top, sitting on the high ground here, shooting some of these drones. One of these Ultra is gonna be cleaning up.
Getting some high energy Medivacs, nice there, but there's more where that came from. Kelazor, 1 single Ultra dealing with that harassment at the top there. Kelazor pressing the issue. He's going to get a couple of these Ravagers. Ravagers very important to deal with the Liberators. These Ultras still taking a lot of damage here. They have +2 attack, plus 3 armor with chitinous plating, so they are quite tanky, but again, not doing tons of damage. Snoot's desperately trying to get this Ultra count up, but Kelazor is going right for the throat here, Todd.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's much left here for Snoot.
He has no bank, he's running out of units, and he's running out of time, starting to step inside of those liberation zones and getting cleaned up here. In the meantime, Kelazor keeps on expanding at the bottom right-hand side of the map. He's worked on his gas income here a little bit, taking a couple more refineries, and Liberator on the top left-hand side is going to siege that base, but on its own, like a big boy.
Well, he can afford to lose Liberators. And in fact, it looks like he won't even. But Kelazor...
Actually, yeah, if he's set up on the high ground there.
Yeah, it's a lovely spot. No Ultras is going to clean that up. And of course, he has advanced ballistics, so he's going to be able to siege up from pretty far away. 4, 5 Liberators sieging up here, pushing Zerg army back. Snoot's between a rock and a hard place. He has nowhere to go. He doesn't even know, like, do I go up and lose everything to Liberators? Do I go down and lose everything to Liberators? His natural's gone. The bio's stimming into the main. The bio's stimming into this 4th base. The Ultras in the middle of the map, way off creep with Infestors, trying to get anything they can done. But I just feel like there's just not too much steam left inside the tank of Snoot here. GG! And Kelazor, man, gonna take it to game 5. Well played by Kelazor. What a great game from him. I completely agree with In Control and Nathaniel saying that he needs to get aggressive, try something new, and it absolutely paid off for him there on Cactus Valley.
Still fighting for Terran here. Would be our 2nd Terran through to the top 8 if he was to make it. Major is already waiting there, where he's going to face Cyril. What a series, man.
It's been pretty incredible. Very action-packed, long games as well. This has definitely been the longest series so far on stream.
Not two of the easiest names to say here between these two players.
That can't even fit Diego's entire name there. Oh, well. And Jens, his last name is Asgard, which is literally the home of the gods. What a cool name.
That's the same last name as Thor, right?
I think so. Well, it's where Thor
Oh, no,
lives.
he's Thor of Asgard, I guess.
Yeah, Thor of Asgard.
It's pretty sick. And he's Norwegian, too.
That's right.
All he needs is a hammer and a helmet.
I actually asked him to, you know, I think it was at Katowice, I said that Team Liquid, I think because Nazgul was there as well, I said to Nazgul, I was like, you should get some Team Liquid brand Viking helmet and drinking horn for Snoot fans. I think that'd be pretty metal.
And he said that's a silly idea, right?
He looked at me weird, yeah. But I stand by it. I still think it's a great option here.
Make it happen yourself.
Yeah, make it happen. I'm sure the Team Liquid guys cheering on their boy, watching from home. And we got a bio break here for Kelazor by the looks of things. Snoot's going to be pretty keen to get into Game 5 here, visibly frustrated again after game. Every loss certainly hurts him. He's been shaking his head and pretty disappointed with his play in these games.
Like, actually, the score being 2-2 here summarizes really well the way I was feeling about this matchup. I think a lot of people probably looked at it and they were like, oh, Snoot against Kelazor, well, I mean, easy for Snoot, right? No, not right. Snoot, even though he's part of the 7,000 MMR club over on the European server, Kelazor, like I said, top 20 Grandmaster on the South Korean ladder. And the fact that actually he went there and trained there for 3 months, that's huge. It's not like, you know, going there for 1 or 2 weeks and playing a couple games. No, 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 no. That's 3 months of hardcore gaming, trying to get better in every single way that he can for this very tournament, for the WCS circuit, of which he's a part of.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what he's been training for months and months. And it comes down to that one single last map here against Snoot to see if he can advance to the top 8. This is a huge moment here for him.
Practice actually absolutely coming through and showing here for Diego as well, for Kelazor. He's looked better than I've ever seen. I've been casting Kelazor for a long time. Snoot as well. Snoot, I'm used to seeing Snoot be incredibly dominant, incredibly good. So he is still the Snoot that I expect. But Kelazor has really leveled up here and just in time for WCS Season 1 finals here in Austin.
So we saw some maps where it's kind of easy, you know, to turtle up to many bases and kind of wait for the opponent to attack into you. And that kind of favored Snoot. Other maps where it was harder, much like the previous one, or Honor Grounds. But in this case, the last map is actually going to be Belcher Vestige. So for Snoot to be able to play the same style, you know, get his spores, take his bases, and kind of turtle up to that hive composition with the Broodlords mostly, how well do you think he's going to be able to do up against Kelazor here on this map if we see similar games to what we saw?
It's going to be pretty difficult. I mean, Belcher Vestige is one of those maps where I think it's, you know, pretty well balanced. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of opportunities for both races to get a lot of hurt on. There's open ground for Zerg. There's abusable terrain for Terran. It's very sunny in here, clearly, so people have their sunglasses on inside. Normally, I would say that's weird, but we have some bright lights here on stage, so they're forgiven this time. Those Void Rays have been working on that Leviathan for 2 days straight now.
Well, I mean, they need a buff, right?
They do need a buff, I feel. I mean, we can
prismatic alignment, not even enough to take this down.
I think the latest, wow, that is an interesting pair of sunglasses, Todd. How do you feel about that fashion?
I love it.
You love it?
As a French person, I'm supposed to have good fashion. I approve. I would wear that.
Wow. Guy in the crowd, you just got French approval for your fashion taste. That is pretty sick. I'm still trying to get there myself, but not quite there.
Love the fans here, man.
Yeah, loving the fans. The NA Passion Lords, as I like to call you all. Hope you're having a great time out there. Game 5 is loading, guys. So this is your last chance to make some noise for either one of these players. One of them is going to be excused from the tournament, and one of them is going to go on to the round of 8. And here we go. In the top left here, with an incredible series. Can he make Brazil great again? This is Kelazor.
He already did for me.
Yeah, Kelazor making Brazil come back in my brain. And at the bottom right, the Norwegian Zerg, the Viking god. This is Snoot.
Best intros in the Beast, man. Well done, well done.
Yeah.
And a gas first build here from Kelazor. Actually on Belcher Vestige.
Usually means a pretty quick 1-1-1. It's usually the case.
Snoot going to be going for the hatchery first, not quite as afraid of some sort of proxied racks as he may have been in the previous game. Not playing the super safe pull first. Even going to follow up with an extractor here before the spawning pull. And on this map, you know, like, I mean, as much as taking 2-3 bases doesn't seem like the hardest of maps, as soon as you take that 4th and 5th, they are quite far apart. And, you know, there are areas where you can fly on the corner of the map, then drop into the main and all that. Snoot's defense has been great. You know, yeah, in some of the games, I think in game 1 in particular, he made a crazy amount of spores, which helped so much because, again, if you are playing a Roach Ravager, what you're going to be lacking is anti-air in the form of the Mutalisks that are the other alternative, right, with the Muta-Link Bane. But in this case, Snoot is just so good with his Queens and with getting a ton of spores that it almost felt like as if those medivac drops weren't even a threat to him. He's mastered that style completely and looked very convincing in the 2 games that he won, but Kelazor somehow brought it back.
Yeah, just solid play, great decision-making from Kelazor, knowing when to strike and with how much has been really good for him. It's always impressive to me as a Terran player to see someone be able to have that knowledge and know when to attack and where. And it's just something I wish I had the ability to do. It'd make my ladder a lot easier. We have this Reaper Scout here from Kelazor as he expands to have a look and see what's going on in Snootsville. And everything looks pretty hunky-dory and pretty standard here in the Zerg side of the map. Link's coming out at the appropriate time to deal with the Reaper. Can't see too much damage getting done by it. Does use the cliff to escape. Spore's going down, or Spore using, getting morphed into a Spore to save that drone. Words are really tough sometimes. We have the switch over here for the Hellions of Kelazor. Now, a couple of games it's worked, and a couple of games it hasn't worked out here for Kelazor. We'll see which one this will be. Well, third not in sight just yet for Snoot. Joining up as much as he can, making queens 2 at a time in both hatcheries, the Snoot style we know and love. Starport, the one-on-one is complete here for Kelazor, and the Hellions looking like they're going to start getting amassed here in the main or towards the natural and get ready for that follow-up as well.
Yeah, that one Overlord had a pretty chill time, by the way, like flying across the entire base before trying to find refuge here in the corner of the map.
I like Kelazor getting the single Viking here, going to go Overlord hunting.
The Bolt Viking, man.
The Bolt Viking, that's right.
The legends.
Maybe you live on forever. We have the Hellions coming in from Kelazor. There is, of course, a good queen count here for Snoot because it is Snoot we're casting after all. So the Hellions are going to have a little bit of a rough time to get into that juicy drone line and get that barbecue happening.
Definitely an easier map to quick spread on as well.
Yeah.
I think with the way the bases are set up and, you know, getting a ton of queens early on, it's going to be much easier for Snoot than, say, for example, on Cactus Valley. Boom. First Overlord down. He's going to be hunting for that second one, most likely looking around the natural. That's exactly where it is. And Snoot's trying to evacuate.
Yeah, leave.
Don't find me, please.
The Viking's not faster than most units,
Look at
but
that
it is
guy.
faster than
Gets the
Overlord.
Ling in.
Yeah, single Ling coming in, going to delay that third CC a little bit. Landed Viking, going to kill that Ling, though.
What is this? Hollow the Swamp cinematic? Every time I see a Viking landed,
well,
that's what I think of.
The Viking landed taking out a Ling is a little bit more sensible than landing to take out an Ultralisk, mate.
Yeah, that was
just
actually
slightly more sensible. So we have actually a huge Ling run by here from Snoot. He's going around the edge of the map here, looking for an opening into that natural, try and catch Kelazor unawares. He does have a full wall off though.
Yeah, usually when a Zerg starts doing these run-bys, they're not going to stop, especially if it's working. So he got in last time. Kelazor is like, not again, not on my watch. Goes for the wall off.
And there's 2 SCVs enough to be able to repair the DPS of these Lings. And it looks like it's going to delay it enough for the Hellions going to get back at least and sort them out. So these Hellions haven't gotten too much infrastructure damage done. We see that the worker count of Snoot is very healthy here, already nearly at 60 drones. And not too much damage done across the board, but a little bit in favor here of Kelazor as he has taken out a good chunk of Lings.
That one Viking worth its weight in gold, by the way.
Yeah,
2 Overlords and 1 Ling. Not bad for a day's work.
He's paid for himself already. Carapace on the way here for Snoot. Does he have single Evo or double?
Double.
Okay. He's got the Roach Warren coming down as well.
Maybe
Snoot,
4 guns. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just normally it's double Evo chamber with a Roach Warren. There it is.
Maybe he didn't have the gas yet. Snoot very minerals heavy right now. He delayed actually he was only on 1 gas up until now. He's now taking 5 more at once. So he's going to want to fix that, I guess.
Yeah, not mining from the gas in the natural, just fixing it up now. Maybe it's and also not mining from the gas in the main, so no wonder those upgrades were delayed there.
From 1 to 6, man.
Rip. So the upgrades are coming down. Roach Warren just about to finish. Armory on the way here for Kelazor, and his upgrades a lot quicker than the Zerg, which is generally not the case in this matchup. Stim nearly done here for Kelazor as well, so that's going to get a little bit dangerous when it starts to get to the drop play stage of the game. Kelazor actually doing a really good job at killing creep tumors. Considering the queen count, he's been doing a really good job to delay creep tumors here.
Armory already on the way.
Yeah.
Upgrade-wise, doing fantastic here. Lining that up perfectly with when the 1-1 will finish.
And Snoot's lair is a way away as well, so the 2-2 for the Zerg is going to be way behind the Terran.
And usually Zerg stays on 2-2 for longer than Terran will. Being able to start at 3-3 very important for winning these games. And with the way Kelazor has been playing as well, super important to go for that 3-3 pretty early
in
a game like this.
Unloading the Hellions, healing them up, turning them into Hellbats so they can be healed by medevacs. And he is going to go for an attack. A couple of the Hellions aren't turning into Hellbats, but they are still pretty strong. There they go, Hellbins coming into Hellbats, and they're going to come up here and engage the Roach and Ravager Concave. This looks like a little bit too much here from Snoot for Kelazor to deal with, though.
Thanks to the Queens, actually. Without these Queens, he wouldn't have been nearly as scary. Maybe denying that creep spread and killing some Crypt Tumors could be good here for Kelazor, but for now, he's just going to take his time already working on the wall off here around the third base and adding on additional barracks. I have to say, Kelazor seems to not make his additional barracks very often, you know, around his natural third base, at least for the fourth and fifth.
Ooh,
maybe later on he has
that's
more.
That's a hatch cancel right there. Nice move from Kelazor in the fourth.
And Infestation Pit being dropped pretty early here once again from Snoot. Again, he forgot about the missile upgrades. It's just started Carapace.
Yeah, he doesn't have the gas, but it looks things. I need 225 for that Carapace, just going down now.
Yeah, starting an Infestor here, prioritizing that. Sometimes you think you have just enough, but you don't. You press the hotkey and that upgrade doesn't start, and then you don't realize until later. So I expect Snoot to maybe double check. You know, actually Drogo said something really funny to me recently. He said, I end every single PVT by pressing continue to play or watch game, and I check if I made thermal lens or not. You never know, man. Yeah, you'd be surprised the amount of games that you check and you're like, oh god, I forgot about it.
Oh man, Medevac's getting caught by the Queens here. One of them going very low. Is there anything in the main to finish it off? Couple Roaches, not too much here from the Zerg, and he does fully unload for these two Medevacs. That's pretty annoying here for Snoot, and of course this is Kelazor we're talking about, so it's not just one drop. We have actually a big attack heading toward the fourth hatchery. Snoot in position though with plenty of units.
Yeah, the mines were at the front, so they got sniped actually before being able to burrow. I think there's enough Roach and Ravager here for Snoot to chase this away. Solid defense here from Snoot, I have to say, like, he traded very well. It's almost encouraging for him to just keep on massing Roaches, maxed out, and then do an attack with just pure Roach Ravager, which really would surprise Kelazor, that has thrown a lot of units away.
Yeah, he certainly has. A lot of hurt units here, not much medevac energy. Oh, bit of a move command there from Snoot, but he comes in and fetches that up. And he is starting to engage these, the Marines, Marauders, and Hellbats, takes them out in the middle of the map there. And Kelazor's 2-2 is about to finish, so he's going to have a stronger army for a little while here. Oh my god. I know how that feels, Kelazor. Combat shield at the 9-minute mark. All right, Ravager's going to take out these Widow Mines.
Is Snoot going to attack? He starts to Spire, but he never started Hive.
He has Infestation Pit, can certainly start at any time.
Did he forget about Hive? Like, I'm really confused by this game. I feel like both players, they're starting to make mistakes that maybe we didn't see make before.
Yeah,
and especially gas-wise, they are both kind of gas-starved. They don't have as much as they would like, so it's very hard to tell whether it's mistakes or that stuff is intentional. I thought that Snoot might attack there because he just has so much in comparison. He cleaned up very easily.
Snoot wants to catch these medevacs, and I think he will. A nice fungal there, getting two of them. The Ravager's out of position, though, and the second fungal going to make sure that these medevacs go down. Wow. Huge pick off there for Kelazor.
But on the left-hand side.
Yeah, big run by with this bio, and this hatchery is in trouble. Snoot's army in the middle of the map here. Not too much left for Snoot, and that hatchery is going to go down. Blow for blow here, both players taking big damage.
And Kelazor not even close to being maxed out there. If Snoot was to attack, this could be a very dangerous attack. The problem is that there is always a threat of a counter-attack from the Terran player, so it's very hard to actually say, all right, I'm just going to go for it, go across the map. You don't want to base trade a Terran, right? If you send everything across the map and then he starts eliminating you, you're going to be in a ton of trouble. And Kelazor...
Oh, another great fungal, and these medevacs can go down as well. Oh, missing one of them.
Yeah, these are very important, actually. Like, the more medivacs you lose like this, the worse he's going to get, because right now he's down to 4 medivacs, so not much dropping capability. Snoot fully identifies that, and I think he's going to want to look to try and attack
He
these
should absolutely attack Todd. I agree with you. He's up 40 supply in the army. He's got equal upgrades for now until 3-3 is done with the Terran. He can trade pretty well here. Roaches and Ravagers, not the most fantastic, cost-effective army, but
Snoot
they are
has a
doing
ton
well.
of Queens ready in the main. He hopes that there's going to be a drop there.
Oh, yeah. This drop is actually looking for that fourth hatchery.
Oh,
and
don't go
now
for
he's
the
going
main.
into the main, but the Queens are ready.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Oh, huge pickups there for Snoot. The medevacs have all gone down, and the fourth hatchery again looking at Kelazor. We've seen this song and dance before. He's going for the hatch cancel. Fourth hatchery being taken on the right for Snoot instead, so this time not being delayed too terribly, but it is still annoying. Kelazor's fourth CC is done, loaded up with the SCVs. He hasn't made an orbital just yet. He is going to drop it now.
And the Hive is now finally on the way. Snoot's going to be able to secure that right-hand side base. He's got a ton of Queens that he's going to send there, actually ready to catch any medivacs flying through. Kelazor actually...
Oh, lovely fumble from Snoot, taking out a good chunk of the pile there. Kelazor retreating to the high ground. The army supply still hugely in favor of the Zerg. He's getting borrowed for the Infestors, doesn't quite have it yet. And Pathogen Glands on the way as well as Overlord speed for those Overseers.
It must have been so tempting for Snoot to attack, but he did even better than that. He baited Kelazor to attack into him by faking that he was going to attack, preventing that fourth base from going down, and then pulling back at the last second, defending against everything that Kelazor was throwing at him. I mean, sure, he lost that left-hand side base, but if you look at the bank and how well Snoot is doing here in supply, he's maxed out. I definitely think he didn't necessarily get the worst end of things, and his split at this point is really nice. He's got Queens on the left-hand side with a ton of energy. He's getting Spores to help against those medivacs.
Yeah, Fuggle's going down here on the Terran army, and there's way too much supply of Queens here to defend for Kelazor to crack into that third base.
3-3 on the way now. Greater Spire as well. It looks like Snoot will be able to stabilize quite easily here now on 4 bases with all the static defense that he's got and the positioning of his army. And Kelazor, he's been losing a lot of units with every single attack.
Yeah, hasn't been taking great trades yet. We see the resources lost very much in favor of Snoot here.
He's sitting on 3-3 though, against an army that's, as time passes by, will become worse and worse. He's been baiting a lot of these infestor fungals, right?
Well,
so there isn't that many of them available.
Phase 2 of Snoot's plan is underway. Greater Spire is nearly done here, and the Corruptors are starting to go up as well. So with Broodlords...
Oh, this attack is dangerous at the bottom here.
Oh, yeah.
3-3 bio.
The Queens can't engage this by themselves, and the Ravagers are coming down to connect with these Medivacs. Oh, just gets the hot pick
Oh,
up.
the fungal on the right-hand side, if he can land it. Okay, gets a small one. Oh, that looks super scary here for a second because there was so much bio from Kelazor clumped up, but he got back just on time. And he's actually going to fly his main orbital here to a new base just below that, knowing that he's going to need more income to make sure he keeps on maxing out consistently.
Yeah, absolutely. Still supply advantage in army for Zerg, and the upgrades are about to even out here.
Only 1 starports for Kelazor. He's been playing so aggressive. He's been losing a lot of units the entire game.
Oh, these Medivacs! If Snoot catches this, oh, thankfully for Kelazor, they actually get past the Infestor wall here, and they're going to go into the main, which is now quite naked. Queen's now coming in to deal with it. Corruptor coming out to help out as well. Single Broodlord here. A little bit dangerous. Doesn't want to lose that Broodlord to Marines.
Actually, he's going to trade here as well with this. Like, this might get cleaned up eventually, but he's going to trade. And at the same time, on the left-hand side, gets a cancel on that base. He's going to run inside of that third base here off Snoot. That's completely undefended other than for the couple Ravagers that he's got there.
What's happened to Snoot's army? Snoot's army's completely out of position, Todd. A bunch of Roaches actually weren't in position there, and the main is under siege. Kelazor somehow finding himself in a wonderful position with both of his armies on both sides of the map. The Hive is going to go down. Huge pickup for Kelazor.
And he's attacking on that right-hand side base at the same time. There's just a couple spores there. He's going to go straight for the drones. Snoot can't be everywhere. He's trying to split as best as he can right now.
Oh my God, Snoot is in so much trouble. The drones are going down. His working supply is down to 32. He's lost his tech. Kelazor is coming in again with a big supply of upgraded bio. That hatchery is going to go down.
I can't believe what I'm watching. Kelazor might be making this work somehow. Snoot down to 161 supply there. And he has no bank behind this. He's barely mining that hatchery. That was being remade into a lair. He's going to die.
His income is atrocious right now. And this hatchery is going to get killed. That is huge here for Kelazor. He's in an amazing position. I don't know how he can even lose from this point. Dropping down into the natural, even more critical tech here for the Zerg. He will be able to clean this up, but he has already taken incredible damage from Kelazor's multiple-pronged attack. Oh my God, Snoot is in such a rough spot here. How does he come back? He needs an incredible engagement. The Infestors are still alive. He still has some Broodlords. He still has Roaches and Ravagers. Didn't get +3 attack, but +3 armor, thankfully, at least finished for him.
Army supply is about even, but a lot more mobility for the Terran army, and I'm pretty sure that Kelazor wants to keep up with the multi-pronged attacks at the same time, again, his economy being left untouched. When you play this style of Snoot, it's very hard to counter-attack with anything, maybe a couple burrowed roaches here and there, but he hasn't even tried to go for anything like that. He didn't make tunneling class actually in this game, even though he's got burrow.
Another huge drop here. It's actually not too much to pick. He's like, I'm going to drop into the main to get your extractor and evolution chamber.
I think he's going to move into the natural. After that, he knows that the Greater Spire here will be the grand prize, because that would be so hard for Snoot to reach that again. Snoot, he's down to one single last hatchery on his natural there, and his income is in shambles. We could have a Brazilian player moving on to the round of 8 here.
I think we will, Todd. Looks like 2 Terrans going to make it in the round of 8. Oh, the Brutal is getting sniped as well. Salt in the wounds for Snoot. He's going from bad to worse for him. The Infestors looking for fungals from the low ground, and they do get some nice fungals, but he's going to need more than that if he wants to win this game.
The multi-pronged attacks of Skelazur here, a little bit too much for Snoot. He was running around like a headless chicken here for a little bit, not quite able to land the fungals, and even if he lands them, there's just too much Terran all over the place.
Yeah, Fungal here going to get a lot of the bio, but there's still more where that came from here on the creep. Not too many Fungals. Actually, there's a lot of Fungals here. The Infestors coming in to reinforce. But the income for Snoot is almost non-existent at this point. It looks like the 2-minute mark of the game.
He's going to go for it. One last ditch attempt, one last big fight if he lands the perfect Fungal and tries to snowball from there. Maybe a miracle win here for Snoot. Let's see if Skelazur commits to the fight. The smart move here will be to pick up, boost everything across the map, and go for the base trade, I think, because there is only a couple buildings left for Snoot, but he's also afraid that one single lone Infestor lands that Dream Fungal on his Medivacs, in which case it would be a disaster.
If Snoot picks up things, there are still Corruptors if this goes to base trade, so he can actually kill flying structures.
Well, there's 3 Corruptors, but yeah, I guess there's a few.
Oh.
And behind this, Skelazur, he's remade another army on the left-hand side here, right outside of his wall off. He's going to move towards this army, try and get a